26th of June 2024. We sincerely apologize for airing the news slightly late due to a technical glitch. However, the news is here. The headlines. Court convicts LUSAKA man for attempting to sell stepdaughter at 150,000 kwacha. Residents demand dignified healthcare facilities at KAUNDA Square Clinic. Government advised policewomen to prioritize national safety and security. In international news, Kenya president backs down on tax rises after deadly protest. In sports news, Zambia's CHIPOLOPOLO squad gears up for COSAFA triumph. These and many more stories coming up after the break.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
With the details, my name is Naomi Msoya. Residents of KAUNDA Square, LUSAKA have appealed to government through the Ministry of Health to construct suitable toilet facilities at KAUNDA Square Clinic. The residents lament that the clinic that operates 24/7 only has 2 toilets, which is shared by both staffs and patients of all gender. Meanwhile, Munali Ward 30 Councillor Milupilubasi disclosed that his office has taken action by requesting funds from the constituency's office under the Community Development Funds CDF for the construction of new facilities at the clinic. Cherry Siwota has more in this report.
Concerned residents of Lusaka's KAUNDA Square Township are calling on government to quickly restore sanity at KAUNDA Square Clinic, where patients and staff of both genders are currently sharing one bathroom block. Speaking to Camnet News, the residents say the situation at the clinic that operates 24 hours a day is unsanitary and might lead to the spread of diseases. The residents add that it is not conducive for both men and women to use the same toilet, especially at a facility such as a clinic.
Pana Ministry of Health tugenze ko pali toilet hapa KAUNDA Square Clinic. Kozi singazizinga toilet mozi wakazi bamuna bana bazinga toilet mozi. Tasana matenda siyasira mkombole kai. Kutoka ku matenda ubwa futi ku matenda yenango. So tupemba kwa Ministry of Health.
Appreciate the government through the Ministry of Health for making KAUNDA Square Clinic to operate on a 24-hour service. It was a cry from the people, but we have realized that we are still facing some challenges despite the clinic operating 24 hours. The issue of toilets is really affecting the operations, because we only have one toilet whereby the patients and the staff are supposed to use. And the other thing that is
and patients at the clinic who opted to be anonymous say the clinic is failing to function properly as it does not have proper bathroom facilities that have led to patients being washed from outside premises in times of emergencies.
CDF so that batumangira ku matoilets safu nikono ya 3 na shower palibe muntu akaziwonongera kunkala kumusambikira pa kumbuyo kulibe mwanyi wanga musambikire ni toilet ni mozi ero mutoilet simu kamusambikire mo nishi kumusambikira pancha so kukunja kwa mene mwaona sikuli bwino kufunika batumangira ko shower batukirako na another toilet nangu batanga tuma toilets otubiri tutatu so that twankala ko bwino even my staff bachabe na one toilet.
Meanwhile, Area Councillor Milupilubasi says he is well aware of the situation and has written to the CDF committee in the area to request for funds that would help construct a new bathroom block at the clinic.
The demand is too high. We need to bring up another ablution block at the facility. And everything is being put in place. We submitted to CDF, and we're also calling for our our partners, our stakeholders to come on board so that we can do it as quickly as possible. It has come to our attention.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Relief has swept through the Kulima Tower bus station in Lusaka as drivers welcome a stern warning from Acting Inspector General of Police Nuna. We sincerely. Okay. Do I have to apologize? Sincerely apologize for that slight glitch. The news continues. Relief has swept through the Kulima Tower bus station in Lusaka as drivers welcome a stern warning from Acting Inspector General of Police Nuna Myambago, vowing to crack down on illegal checkpoints and roadblocks mounted by rogue officers. The drivers, who have long been frustrated by the proliferation of unauthorized roadblocks, are hailing the move as a major victory. According to Christopher Njekuki, Vice Chairman of Kulima Tower, says the police must establish specific areas for roadblocks rather than the current practice of setting up multiple checkpoints in the same area, which has led to harassment and extortion of drivers. Here's a report.
Drivers at the Lusaka's Kulima Tower bus station have welcomed the caution from Acting Inspector General of Police that police will not condemn the mounting of illegal roadblocks by officers. Speaking to Camnet News, the drivers say the statement is timely as police officers have in the past weeks been mounting road and checkpoints at awkward locations and times. Christopher Nenguke, Kulima Tower Vice Chairman, says police officers must adhere to the directive and mount roadblocks in designated areas.
Comesa headquarters bazapeka road block. So we want to know that road block on yao kumozi pa iri pamozi. That ni yaku know the iri pamozi. That in fact so at least want to atandizike kwa road block hapa pari ponze. So we want to say thank you so much kuliva police. Kudos kuliva IG by information ambayo pasa mairo yako bati at least ma road block yasazipezeka pari ponze.
Whilst other drivers tell this reporter that roadblocks are necessary, but of late the police officers have been misconducting their duties.
Je road block ba upeza ti muntu alicheka akwira mabasi ali 10 alieka so injana evya tita ukoshi stimbera mu so IGP babura na system atambera mushe manini stika na road block wanga mount road prevent kwa drivers balibe ma license so injana sita welcome no madezi
upeze kat like route ya kumtendere olokuchawama polisi waza kukonkani mpaka kukaso basi azula bakubloka tena kuza tip center basi wakapeza sina zula again na kubloka tushita contravening training tiye kuseni manje nikusebenza bwanji kwasoka so titasha pachito ya musha nevagwira yeye nachitana vakamba va IG na veve tivatasha maningi va deputy yakuti ma unnecessary roadblocks yachepe olo yasiiretu tivomera roadblock vangapange vakatiuza toke yaruti yaso izamongalira paso naipe tiziva ndepa roadblock noti kuti konkana mumakomboni manje tizasevenza bwanji semabus drivers.
Acting Inspector General of Police Maunia Myangbango warned that any officer found manning unauthorized checkpoints would be dealt with accordingly. Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka Magistrates Court has convicted and committed a 30-year-old man of Misisi compound to the High Court for sentencing after he pleaded guilty to one count of child trafficking. Simon Silomba, a wheelbarrow pusher, was found guilty on Monday along with his co-accused Martin Sichalwe, 41, a security guard, and 30-year-old businessman Kennedy Sichiwiza. Silomba, together with his co-accused, attempted to sell his 4-year-old stepdaughter at a cost of 150,000 kwacha. More in this report.
A 30-year-old stepfather who found no profit in being a wheelbarrow pusher but in his stepdaughter and 2 others have been convicted and committed to the High Court for mitigation and sentencing for the offense of child trafficking. Facts before court are that Simon Silomba, a wheelbarrow pusher, 30, and his co-accused Martin Sichalwe, 41, a security guard, and a 30-year-old businessman Kenneth Sichiwiza of Misisi compound obtained the 4-year-old girl around 17 hours on 19th March 2024 when the mother to the victim, Brenda Mkandawire, was sweeping inside the house. But she was surprised to discover that her husband, together with his co-accused, now convicts, and her daughter were nowhere to be seen, who however did not answer to the phone calls. As such, she decided to call the husband several times. However, the phone went unanswered. According to the statement of fact before court, the victim's mother received a phone call at 22 o'clock from Kanyama police station and was informed of her daughter being at the station. Later, the police officer informed her that she was in the safe custody of the police because the convicts were caught attempting to sell the 4-year-old girl at 90,000 kwacha in Lusaka's Makeni Villa. Other facts are that while at the police, the victim narrated that while playing outside, her stepfather, Simon Silomba, enticed her with a coin and told her they were going to Mr. Mwemba's shop near their house. Upon reaching there, they jumped into a taxi and drove to Mr. Mwemba's house, where she saw 3 men, among them Martin Sichalwe, Kenneth Sichiwiza, but police officers from Kanyama police station stormed the house after a tip-off. Police investigations revealed that the trio met up with Mr. Henry Simbule of Makeni Villa on 19th March 2024. At 13 hours, the purported buyer and the convicts sought to sell the girl at 150,000 kwacha cash, promising Mr. Simbule that he could use the child for whatever purpose, leading to the buyer reporting the matter to police as he got suspicious. After the facts were read out, the convicts confirmed the truthfulness of the statement of facts. As such, Lusaka Magistrate Mutinta Mwenya convicted and committed the trio to the High Court in line with the Criminal Procedure Code for mitigation and sentencing. Child trafficking is a serious crime in Zambia with harsh penalties, and the jail term depends on the circumstances of the case, but if one is found guilty, may be jailed for at least 20 years to a maximum of life imprisonment. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Vice President Mutale Nalumango has urged women serving in the police force to dedicate themselves diligently to safeguarding national safety and security. During her address at the inaugural Zambia Police Women's Leadership Conference in Lusaka, Mrs. Nalumango expressed the government's gratitude for the women's contribution. She also encouraged them to be self-assured, emphasizing that with the right work ethic, they are capable of achieving what their male counterparts can. Meanwhile, Minister of Home Affairs Jack Mwimbu urged ongoing support from his ministry for Zambia's policewomen, stressing the importance of continuous skills and knowledge training. More in this report.
The Zambia Policewomen have June 26, 2024 officially opened the first ever Women's Leadership Conference at Mulungushi Conference Center in Lusaka. The conference, which is being attended by women from Zambia Police from different towns and departments, is being held under the theme Invest in Women Police Officers for Accelerating a Safer Zambia. Speaking at the event, Vice President Mutalena Lumango says the theme underscores the critical role that women play in ensuring safety and security for our nation. She says the conference is a pivotal moment as the country journeys towards gender equality. Ms. Nalumango has also implored women officers to show empathy towards women and girls who report at the police stations seeking assistance, as 17% of women and girls in the country have experienced sexual violence.
Who have joined the police service must be commended for breaking the gender stereotype that police work is for men. Ladies and gentlemen, more than a third of all women and girls in Zambia have experienced physical abuse in their lives, and 17% of women have experienced sexual violence at the hands of a loved one. These gender inequalities disproportionately affect women's and girls' lives. Therefore, as women officers, you must show empathy towards women and girls who report at the police stations seeking assistance.
And Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbu, says his ministry is dedicating to implementing government's policies on supporting women in uniform by ensuring that their skills are maximized to contribute to the overall organization's efficiency.
To assure our gallant women in uniform that my ministry will continue to support them by investing in training programs that focus on building leadership, teamwork, communication, and collaboration skills. This will ensure policewomen have the necessary skills and knowledge to serve with confidence.
Meanwhile, Deputy Inspector General of Police for Administration, Alita Mbawe, says the conference will accelerate the participation of women in uniform. She has also thanked the various stakeholders that have supported the Zambia Police Women's Network.
High Command, we are very convinced that female police officers, just like the male counterparts, can contribute positively to the well-being of the institution and the community at large. However, in order for this to be a reality, there is need to ensure that the female police officers who have been marginalized for a long time are capacitated in order for them to be able to participate meaningfully in the affair of the organization. It is in this regard that the conference has been organized with the aim of capacitating women police officers with knowledge and leadership skills, and further to share best practices.
And Canadian High Commissioner Head of Office, Ms. Janie Hill, says the Canada and Zambia partnership is unique, as Zambia is the only country Canada has a bilateral partnership with its police force under the ELISE initiative that trains women in specialized skills needed for peacekeeping missions.
Is the only partnership in the world where we have a bilateral relationship with the police rather than the military. So that makes the Zambia-LC partnership particularly unique and particularly special for us. And it's also important to note that Zambia was chosen because you are, or you were, already a leader in deploying women into peacekeeping operations. So you're actually a trailblazer in the region, and I think your numbers beat Canada's as well. But women make up over 40% of your deployments to UN peacekeeping missions.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
2 top seniors at Mwembeshi Boarding Secondary School have been arrested and charged with corrupt practices involving 28,720. Head teacher Petronella Kaputa and deputy head teacher Humphrey Fundaluka have been accused of abusing their authority and fraudulently facilitating payments from the school account for goods that were not supplied. According to the Anti-Corruption Commission head of corporate communication, Timothy Mono, the duo colluded with suppliers to siphon money from the school account, which they later collected for personal gain. They have been released on bond and are expected to appear in court soon to face charges of abuse of authority and fraudulent facilitation of payments. The Triumph Foundation, a non-profit organization, has committed to ongoing assistance for Isaac Chongo, a 60-year-old resident of Kanyama who has been unable to walk since suffering a severe stroke in 2015. The organization first intervened in Mr. Chongo's case on October 11, 2023, following a report by Camnet News aired on October 7, 2023. According to the foundation's founder, Holland Kunda, and Director General Michael Kaputula, there is a critical need for people across the country to demonstrate compassion through tangible actions. Meanwhile, wife to Mr. Chongo, Nelly Banda, has appealed to the government to consider employing their older child, who is a qualified teacher and recently faced disappointment in teacher recruitment. More in this report.
Bedbound and confined to his house for 8 years, the story of Isaac Chongo, a former security guard who suffered a stroke in 2015 and lost mobility but relies on his wife for help, first appeared on Camnet TV on Saturday, 7th October 2023, where he was asking for well wishers to help him with a wheelchair to ease his mobility. On 11th October 2023, Triumph Foundation, a non-profit organization funded by its founder, Holland Kunda, responded to the cries of Mr. Chongo by donating a wheelchair and assorted foodstuff for his family and pledged continued support. True to their pledge, on Wednesday, 26 June 2024, the organization checked on Mr. Chongo's status and donated assorted food items for his day-to-day needs, with a call for others to show love through actions to various individuals facing societal challenges.
When we saw it on TV, on Camnet TV, to say there is a man who is in need of a wheelchair, he was in the house for 8 years. So we came last year and we bought him a wheelchair. So we promised them to be checking on them time to time. So last week I called to say, oh, this Wednesday we'll be coming to see Mr. Chongo, because he's our father and he's one of us. It's the word of God through giving. Because the Bible says love is the greatest, and whoever touches the needy touches the heart of God. We are here to touch the heart of God. And thank you so very much to all Triumph members, and may God bless them.
Oh, Mr. Chongo is more like a family now to us. That's why we came here last year, and even this year we have come back again just to check how he is doing, because we want to see him doing better. Want to see him, want to see the whole entire family doing better. I think that's the major reason why we are here.
Mr. Chongo, who rarely used to see the broad daylight, says his mobility has now improved as he can attend church and physiotherapy appointments. Mr. Chongo now sees a life beyond the years he has been confined to his room after suffering a stroke in 2015.
So sometimes in the Kwanisha balances the Kwakichinda, each of the Toterasan, Ilokabina, Fizo Dumanamanda, the Toterasan.
The wife to Mr. Chongo, while appreciating the gesture by the organization, wants the government to help by recruiting their oldest child, who is a teacher by profession.
Na lero mbakufe wa minister nga chakwa tutuba umva Douglas ya kalima at least mwana bamwishibeko chizendwe cho vantu leko shiwe ko ningafungira abatata abainga pande tuishi mama matontonkanyo ya muntu limbi mukuikala abantu baranaka tuwaumkwata awo twanaka mwala ishiwe ko mwalaya nombanka chitashanya at least ngakuliko umwana wako at every month yabomba akuvule mbia kupera inganda 13 churo kulipira miaka yafula 9 years leo balwala.
The neighbors to the Chongo family share their delight.
Stars bali mungani wa mbuya ku bana bangono ibantu okutankala na beve bali becho ipo na muntu but challenge amine nzepo mu situation amine mwaona it was a challenge like stizo metinga kambire but mulungu amena mapanga njira pali benjira na mapangira njira wa muntu.
At the end of it all, Mr. Chongo wears a smile thanks to Triumph Foundation. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A state witness from the Anti-Corruption Commission, SCC, Mulenga, has testified in court that former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo owed properties worth 22.8 million kwacha, exceeding his legitimate non-sources of income of 8.5 million kwacha. Appearing before Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibweli, Mulenga stated that the accused remained silent when questioned about the discrepancies. The state witness further told court that former cabinet minister earned 7 million kwacha as a government worker between 2016 and 2021. In this case, Mr. Lusambo is facing 2 counts of possession of property suspected of being proceeds of crime contrary to Zambian law. Here's a report.
State witness from the Anti-Corruption Commission has narrated before the Lusaka Magistrate Court that after established that former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo owned properties in Chamba Valley, Lusaka, valued at 22.8 million kwacha against the legitimate known sources of income standing at about 8.5 million kwacha during the period under review, he sought for an explanation from Mr. Lusambo, who opted to remain mute. Mulenga at the SCC testified before Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibweli that after Mr. Lusambo decided to remain mute on the other sources of income, he charged and arrested him with 2 counts of possessing property deemed to be proceeds of crime contrary to Section 71 of the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act. However, when questioned in cross-examination by defense lawyer Nkola Bota on whether Mr. Lusambo got loans from a bank where his government salary was going, the witness could not recall. Counsel Bota also asked SCC officer if he was aware that the accused worked for Cash Crusaders Limited. The witness responded in the negative. When further questioned on the value of the properties in count 1 and 2 and the construction costing about 5 million kwacha, the state witness responded that the values are not indicated and is not aware of the total cost of construction. In this matter, Mr. Lusambo is charged with 2 counts of possessing of property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime contrary to Section 71 of the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act No. 19 of 2010. In count 1, it is alleged that Mr. Lusambo between May 1st, 2015 and December 31st, 2021, jointly with other unknown persons, possessed property in Lusaka comprising a single-story 4-bedroomed house, guest wing, gazebo, and a car shed reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime. Allegations in count 2 are that Mr. Lusambo between the same dates, jointly and whilst acting together with other persons unknown, possessed an incomplete block of 6 flats in Lusaka's Chamba Valley area deemed to be proceeds of crime. However, in continued cross-examination, the state witness told the court that he did not investigate Mr. Lusambo's trips to China while serving as an area member of parliament for Kabushi, and told the court that from 2016 to 2021, Mr. Lusambo made 7 million kwacha from the government. Mr. Mulenga also told the court that the 7 million kwacha Mr. Lusambo earned was not greater than the cost of construction. Trial in this matter continues on July 9th and 10th, 2024. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Zambia Sugar PLC Corporate Affairs Director Eugene Chungu says the company has enlisted an additional 30 interns to assist in retrieving data for 1088 former employees who are seeking payment of their NPF-NAFSA pension benefits. Mr. Chungu clarified this action in response to protest from some ex-workers who accused the company of failing to contribute a portion of their earnings towards pension funds. He explained that the 108 individuals had contributed to the Zambia National Provident Fund, ZNPF, which later transitioned and rebranded to NAFSA. He disclosed that the company had provided certificates of service to validate the employment of these workers, a process conducted within the support of the Labour Commissioner in 2022. However, he acknowledged that NAFSA identified gaps in their records and requested the company to provide and verify the duration of service for these employees. Mr. Chungu underscored that this verification process has been lengthy, and while some former employees have been attended to, there remains a backlog, hence the engagement of interns to expedite the search through the company's database dating back to 1984. He assured the ex-employees that their funds are available at NAFSA, confirming that Zambia Sugar had complied with legal remittance requirements and maintained credit balance. The Eastern Province Chamber of Commerce and Industry has urged the government to consider establishing a power interconnector with Mozambique in order to access regional electricity benefits. EPCCI President Thomas Mtonga says there is a need for the government to put up the power interconnectivity infrastructure in order to easily access electricity to support economic activities across the country. ZAMBIA'S reports that Mr. Mtonga said Mozambique's Cabora Bassa power station is ideal for the establishment of a power interconnector to help Zambia and Malawi access power imports for domestic use. He observed that the energy crisis the country is facing has demonstrated that the power interconnector should have been established much easier to address the current deficit. Stakeholders feel that with Zambia experiencing an energy crisis due to a devastating climate change effects on power generation and rising demands for industrial and domestic consumption, electricity imports from Mozambique are expected to rise. Historian Houston Chipota also urged the government to establish power interconnectors with Mozambique in order to benefit from regional power interconnectivity benefits. He explained that power interconnectors are cardinal in making electricity available within the region to drive economic activities. You are watching Camnet Main News at 19:30. We take a break. When we do come back, we have international as well as sports news. Keep watching.
With this impending drought, it's time we look to alternatives of sustaining our crops. We as ISDP are promoting irrigation and water harvesting as the solution to challenges posed by climate change. Watch our 13-week series as we unfold the solutions for our crops. Catch us every Monday at 2040 hours, repeats every Tuesday at 1910.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Thank you for staying with us in international news. Kenyan President William Ruto said Wednesday he won't sign into law a finance bill proposing new taxes, a day after protesters stormed Parliament and several people were shot dead. The government wanted to raise funds to pay off debt. That Kenyans said the bill caused more economic pain as millions struggle to get by. The chaos on Tuesday led the government to deploy the military, and Ruto called protesters' action treasonous. The president now says the bill caused widespread dissatisfaction and has listened and considered. Here is a roundup of international news.
Kenyan President William Ruto said Wednesday that the controversial finance bill will be withdrawn, bowing to pressure from protesters who brought large areas of the country to a standstill Tuesday. Members of parliament had voted overwhelmingly for the bill that would have hiked taxes.
I'm listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024. I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members that that becomes our collective position.
Ruto, who appeared before journalists in the company of his Kenya Kwanza coalition members of parliament, also promised to hold a dialogue with the youth. The protesters called for an end to government corruption and waste.
And I am therefore proposing that because we have gotten rid of the Finance Bill 2024, it is necessary for us to have a conversation as a nation going forward. How do we manage the affairs of the country together? How do we manage our debt situation together? How do we work on the budget with the deficits that now exist together?
Kenya says it needs to collect more tax revenue to cut borrowing and to fund social services. The International Monetary Fund, too, wants Nairobi to cut budget deficits in order to qualify for future loans. At least 23 people were killed in clashes across the country on Tuesday. With insecurity and a diplomatic dispute with neighboring Benin affecting the export of oil, Niger is looking at options. Military authorities are considering routing the oil through neighboring Chad and then to Cameroon. This Sahel analyst says that would need China to commit to investing. The Chad option is not an easy one either. It's understandable that this option is being warmed up because of the deteriorating relations between Niger and Benin, but nothing is settled yet, in my opinion.
Toutes ces questions-là ne sont pas réglées, à mon avis.
The Chinese-built pipeline, which runs from Niger's Agadem oil fields to Benin's port of Seme, began transporting crude in May. But Cotonou soon blocked it, citing Niamey's refusal to open its border to trade. As Niger became a producer of pre-oil in 2011, there was no such insecurity, and the Chinese had at that time put in money to build Soras, which is the Zinda refining company in the center of the country. So they want their money back from the investments they've made. The Chinese have also invested in the pipeline, an investment of around $4 billion. So these are significant sums, and for the Chinese, it is important that oil exports can continue to recoup their investments. One major concern is how the stalled pipeline operation might impact Niger's overall economic growth. Niger was projected to grow fastest in Africa this year, powered by oil exports. Oil exports are a real issue for Niger, as it relies on them to circumvent the deterioration in ties with the international financial community. Because of the army coup, many partners have suspended their bilateral aid. Multilateral aid is still under negotiation, but Niger is counting on oil exports to ensure a certain economic and financial resilience. The standoff hurts both countries, with Benin also losing millions of dollars in transit fees.
Haiti's Prime Minister held a press briefing in Port-au-Prince Tuesday following the arrival earlier in the day of the first contingent of the Kenyan police officers in the country. The country is going through very difficult times, but we are already committed to resolving the issues. The Prime Minister was accompanied by Monica Juma, Kenya's former Minister of Foreign Affairs, who now serves as President Ruto's National Security Advisor.
So we stand united in our commitment to support the Haitian National Police, to restore public order and security, to build bridges between our people and our nations.
The Prime Minister said the Kenyan police would be deployed in the next couple of days, but did not provide details about their first mission.
Zambia's CHIPOLOPOLO team is exuding confidence ahead of the upcoming COSAFA tournament in South Africa, with coach Chisimbewe, midfielder Kelvin Kapumbu and striker Albert Kangwanda all expressing optimism about their chances of emerging victorious. In a show of determination, the trio revealed that the team is fully prepared to put their skills to the test and bring home the coveted title. With a strong team plan in place, the CHIPOLOPOLO squad is ready to take on the best of the region and make their mark on the tournament.
Just like to pick up from where I left last time. So going into the tournament, last time I finished with 3 goals, so I want to do more this time, and I'd like to help my nation, win another cup. The fans obviously would expect a win, and they would want us to come back with the trophy, and we have that in mind. So obviously going into the tournament, everyone is ready,